The calendar says fall, but we are still tackling temps near 90 here on the Sun Coast, which means our air conditioners are still working overtime. But there are things you can do to keep your home cooler, and it involves a part of your house you probably don't even think about. Tom Decker is a product specialist at Insulation Plus of Sarasota, and he's here to talk to us about our attics. Great to see you, Tom.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
How could focusing on our attics actually help the part of the homes we live in's efficiency?
Well, so your attic, there's actually a reason you actually have an attic in your house, because it's the first thing between, your house is the first thing between the sun and the earth. So when the sun hits your attic or your roof, it creates a lot of heat and energy. So where the attic space actually is designed to absorb that heat and then be ventilated out to reduce the heat in the attic. So everybody says, well, an attic is hot. So what we focus on is lowering attic temperatures and then increasing insulation values in your attic, which actually lowers the temperature and keeps your house cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Basically, to give you an example, if you went to the grocery store in the middle of the summer, say in July, and you bought a bag of ice and you just threw it in your trunk, and you had another bag and you put it in a cooler where it's insulated, and you drove 15 miles to come home. When you get home, you're going to open your trunk. You're going to have one bag of water that's just the ice that's just melted, and you're going to have in the cooler where it's insulated. You're actually going to have a bag of ice. So
okay.
when you cool your house inside, you want to keep that cool in. So that's what the insulation does in the attic and around the walls, and your windows are insulated. The more insulation you have in the house, the more efficient the house becomes.
All right, let me ask you this. What is typically in an attic? Like, I'll be honest, I have no idea what's up in my attic, in terms of the main area of the home. What do most people have, but what should most of us have?
Okay, yeah, so about 93% of the homes in the United States are actually under insulated. You need about 12 to 14 inches of insulation. So 14 inches in numbers is an R38. That's what the Energy Department recommends. But most homes built in the last 4 or 5 years are usually that's what they've been built to. But if your home's 5, 6 years or older, then the insulation's not going to be enough. Typically, you're going to go up and you're going to see a lot of floor joists and things like that where the attic is only maybe got 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of insulation. So the thicker that insulation is, the more efficient the house becomes.
Okay, and what you're able to do is then add insulation. Am I understanding you correctly?
Yes, so we come in, that's what we do. We'll come out, we do a free attic analysis. That's kind of where we start. And then we come in and we'll look at the insulation and the ventilation. But typically we add 8 to 10 inches of insulation to almost every home that we visit to make the house more efficient. And then once you do this one time, that insulation stays, and you never have to do this again. It's a one-time home improvement. So
those are my favorite kind.
The fastest, yes, it's the fastest return on your investment of any home improvement.
Okay.
It's a no-brainer, basically.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it, especially if we have an older home. And then it's not just insulation, it's also air circulation. So explain to me the solar fan and how those work together.
Okay, so the solar fan, the idea of that is to lower the attic temperature. So the closer your attic temperature is to the outside exterior temperature or ambient temperature, the more efficient the house is. So you don't want your attic to be 130 to 150 degrees. It's just too much heat coming in. And on that video, on that picture there, you can see the air comes in through your soffits, and then the fan goes up on the top of the roof, up as high as we can get it, and it pulls the heat out and reduces the attic temperature. So if we can get that attic temperature within 10 degrees of the outside temperature, so if it's 90 degrees outside and your attic is 100, you're in really good shape. But if it's 90 in the outside and your attic's 140, 150, then all the ductwork absorbs the heat, and your house, you just can't keep it cool. So that's what the solar fan does, is it reduces the attic temperature, makes the house more comfortable, it makes it more efficient, lowering your energy bills. Air conditioner lasts longer, a roof's going to last longer.
Right.
So it just makes a ton of sense.
It certainly does for us here in Florida, and I like how you pointed out that, by the insulating to keep the heat out and then circulating, then we're also taking a lot of pressure off of the electric bill.
Yes, and we're reducing moisture in the attic as well. That's another point. Insulation will actually absorb moisture. So when we keep the moisture levels down, the insulation doesn't settle over time because it's got so much weight in it. So keeping the moisture level, you can get mold in an attic, you can get kind of musty smells and stuff. So you want to control the moisture, and it just makes a cleaner, a nicer environment for even inside of the house through the attic space.
And tell us quickly about installation. Fairly painless for the homeowner?
Very painless. So a solar fan, typically we allow about an hour to put it in. Typically we're maybe coming out and putting 8 to 10 inches of insulation in the house. That's going to take an hour to 2 hours, depending on how big the house is. And then the fan, maybe another hour. So usually we schedule 2 or 3 jobs a day, normally 2, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And that's it's a really big house. And then that's it, one trip. We do everything once and done. This is a lifetime home improvement. Everything we have has a lifetime warranty. So once we do the project, there's no more money coming out of the pocket for the homeowner. And a typical job really is $1,000 to maybe $3,000 total. There's some tax credits on the solar, 26%.
Oh, good.
That you actually get back on a federal energy tax credit. So it's very affordable. And everything we do, we try to get it to be like a 2 to 3 year payback as far as just energy savings. But most people say, you know, it pays for itself the first day because the comfort in the house is so much improved that it really makes it worthwhile, and you don't, it's not looking at long-term payback as far as efficiency because it's so much more comfortable.
Right.
And a lot of people are like, I'm sick of being hot in the house or cold in the winter.
Right there,
that kind of thing.
right there with that, and I'm sick of the energy bills as well. So this is a great way to make your home more efficient and cost-effective in the long run. Nothing better than one and done home improvement. For more information, you can go to insulationplusofsarasota.com. We'll be right back.